Hello, 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 hello. I'm here. I'm alive. Oh, darn it. I didn't do that correctly. Give me a moment. I'll change my model. Commands. If I sound a bit weird today, I'm not well. I was thinking about maybe cancelling the stream, but I decided against it. But if I click here, give it a few seconds. Click again. There we go. Okay. There we go. I'm in the correct model now. I'm in the correct model. Yeah, hello. Oh, I need to change my chalkboard drawing, but unfortunately, I've not had a chance today. Oh. But hello, Crafter Knight. Hello, Honey Rose. Hello, that guy over there. I hope you're all okay. Yeah, my hay fever's been biffing me up. So that was that. Oh, so I was at a funeral today. So and it took a lot out of me. I'm not very good at going out. So it was very painful, very difficult. Unfortunately, you know, why did we decide to build cemeteries and, you know, cremation places in the middle of big old fields that are full of grass and flowers? And there's so many flowers. And like, I'm just sat in for funeral. I've looked for pot because, like, there's just tears coming out of my eyes and snot everywhere. And I'm like, but really, most of it was just, I think, hay fever. Like, my eyes were swelling up. And like, oh no, it's a hay fever flu. Oh, caps lock. Yeah. I have been taking antihistamines. In fact, I even changed the type I'm taking because, you know, they weren't doing very well. But nope, still not doing very well. Oh gosh. So yeah, if I have to end the stream early, I was going to end the stream and I got onto my computer. I'm like, I'm gonna need to do the thing. But then I'm like, actually, you know, I'm starting to feel a little better now. I've been home and I've had something to eat and a bit of a drink. Maybe we can. Also, I've got just so many models I need to build and so much stuff I need to do. So, caps lock. That's a wonderful Kepi. Let's go, my dudes. Let's go. Oh, if I need to move this over to here. Because I'm struggling to look at chat because it's out the way. Oh, but yeah. Skitarii traitors. We're not Skitarii traitors. We're building traitor guardsmen. So, and we're using oh wait, let me go to the hand cam. We're using Smash Necromunda models. Yeah, like, don't these guys look like they already look like the Nurgle worshippers. We got like the brass orbs and stuff on them. We got the green tatty robes, respirators. They're like the perfect Nurgle worshippers already. I don't need to convert them. But also, a couple of bases arrived today. Unfortunately, I was like deaded today anyway. Like this morning, I woke up like really late. I think I woke up slightly, you know, earlier, but I don't really remember it. You guys got Dayquil. I don't know what Dayquil is. I've heard of Nightquil and Dayquil. I like cold and flu stuff. Unfortunately, because of my tummy problem, I can't really take much medication without making myself ill. Things like paracetamol and ibuprofen, they set off my stomach condition, unfortunately. So, and often like the pain killing aspects of them, it doesn't really do enough because it's like I'll just be putting my tummy in more pain than what they can deal with. But yeah, I finally got a base from Cromtech. Oh my gosh, look at all those circles on it. It's from Cromlech or Cromtech, whatever it's called. I finally got a base for this. Because it's just one of those things, you don't want to spend £2 and then have to spend like £5 and post some packaging for it. Because this is Saturnine Dread that I'm using as a Redemptor. Look at that giant chainsaw. That's the Onslaught Gatling Cannon. These are the grenade launchers it has. That's the Plasma Cannon. Yeah. You can see. Pretty cool. So this is going to be like a special relic Redemptor Dreadnought. But its base was this one. So I've just had it like blue tacked to this base. But it's like way too big. So, but I finally got a new base for it. That's why it's here. And now I can paint it in 2 years. Also CupCon, I need to tell you I'm heading down to business, melting in 2 minutes. See, yeah, it's the business red alert. Okay, bye-bye. So, Honey Rose, I hope your business goes well. You know what you got, lads? What have you got? Well, how are you all? Like, I'm just talking. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. So yeah, we got this. And he's cool. I might put some cool stuff on his face now he's here. Maybe like a skull or something. Some things to be crushed. So yeah, if I sound like I'm an old woman right now, I'm just deaded with hay fever. Angriest boy ever. No. But you're angriest boy. Oh, that's what you're working on. Angron. Oh. No, this boy's angrier. This boy's angrier. Look how angry he is. Just with someone stole his big shoulder pads. I'm joking. I like this thing though. I don't even know what it is. But I like that the idea I've got here is that he's constantly like saying prayers. Oh no, maybe he's such a relic and stuff. And like only the most holy and worthy of space marines gets interned in this dreadnought. So everything that they say is inscribed onto paper. And oh, that's gonna be cool. I might have like a person just following behind, picking up the parchment that rolls off from here. And it's like everything he says gets recorded. And it's like used as a holy text. But unfortunately, the current person inside the dreadnought, most of what he says is just, ah, I'm gonna kill you. I can't wait. Hi, Anthony. Hi, TA. I'm alright, just pasting in Chaos. Oh, Chaos Warriors. Remember when Chaos Warriors were really, really weird in the fact that they were like, just like, oh, all scrunched up because they had to go on tiny square bases. And as a result, for all like, you know, they had their hands really close in and stuff so that they could be ranked up next to one another. I still like those old Chaos Warriors. You can still get them. I absolutely adore the old kit. Yeah, for those who are just coming in, I've got hay fever. And I've been out today. I've been out! I've been at a funeral, but it wasn't a very good day for me in terms of like my health and stuff. So it was a lot of effort being out there. So it's taken a lot out of me. But I've been cancelling too many streams, so I thought I'll try the stream. Oh yeah, look at this. Lothan blue. I've got some blues for our thing. And look, the new Warhammer paints. They have little booklets on them. I think with all the different languages and stuff on them. Yeah, we got like an entire novel right there. But yeah, it's blues, brighter blues to use with my stuff. Oh yeah, and here is, I've got the base finally for my Markanaut. What do you think of this Markanaut? Can I show it on the stream? Yeah. This is the Markanaut. It's got like, it's for death school, so everything is like looted pretty much. Everything that's not looted from the Imperials, or the Tau, or the Eldar, it was looted from another Ark. In fact, that Ark, the Ark on board was also looted. Look at that. Raw. How are the servo scribes writing that down? How are you servo scribes writing that down? No idea. But yeah, that's what this is for. This is like just constantly recording everything. And then like there's a scribe back here who like, maybe I should put a scribe on his face. That's just like following him around, picking everything up. And my new list is a Slaughterbound. Ooh. I just gotta say it, Necromunda seems like a pretty scrummy place to be in. A pretty crummy place, sorry, to be in the Imperium without saying something. It depends where you are in Necromunda. So Necromunda has multiple hives on it, and then places between the hives. One of the hives is basically got overrun by gene stealers. I think another one's basically destroyed. another hive is where most of Necromunda stuff takes place. And then you've got, I think, a better hive, a wealthier one. It also depends where you are in the hive. If you're pretty high up in the hive, it's fine. If you're down low, it's bad. But yeah, as far as things go, Necromunda's one of the worst. Like, a lot of 40k lore that we have comes from the Necromunda campaign. It's like, oh, but one of the things that you have to realise is that this is particularly Necromunda. And, you know, all of the corpse grinding, all of the corpse starch, all of that stuff. It's common on Necromunda, but less common on other hive worlds. Now, that being said, recent 40k has been going a lot more into the grim dark and grim derp side of things, especially pre-Gulliman. Anywhere that basically Gulliman hasn't had a chance to come along and, you know, make things better. It's generally bad. In fact, it's usually like, if you read any book before they decided to bring Gulliman back, 40k world, I mean, it's bad, but it's not as bad as like half the memes and stuff. But then if you read anything after Gulliman's come back, like that's post when they decided to bring Gulliman back, and it's set before Gulliman, or it's set well, it's set before Gulliman, but like, you know, still late 40k, or it's set somewhere where Gulliman's light hasn't yet had a chance to shine. You generally find it's pretty bad in those places. Hello, Seredrin. Yeah, it's generally pretty bad in those places. Like Holy Terror, it was absolutely horrific, but since Gulliman's come around, it's been getting a bit better. But also the law is a bit weird about like how long it's been since Gulliman's returned of the fall of Cadia. It's like, depending on what you're reading, it's like different. And it makes sense. You got all the warp weirdness going on. You've got and on top of that, it's like not every single book has to be set at the same time, and like not every campaign has to be set at the same time as every other campaign. Like for instance, the Eye of Terror and Armageddon campaigns might not be that long after Leviathan. I actually don't know. It's hard to know. It's just really weird. Like, there's some stuff where it makes it feel like it's been hundreds of years since the opening of the Great Rift, and others where it makes it feel like not even a decade has passed. So it's really hard to know. But yeah, here is my mark. What do you think of a Markanaut, though? Do you think this is... Like, here's its upper body. It's got big old Volkite weapon for its Mega Sapper. It's got some looted jets from the Tau, looted missile launcher, arc sticking out the top with a really thick wrenching arm. It's got looted Imperial arm with some other weird stuff on it. One of the fingers was missing, so it got replaced by this jabby, stabby chainsaw mouth thing. I've been trying to put like bullet holes and stuff into it, like, you know, just dents and holes. That's some of the berserkers, for Photon berserkers, Siphonian berserkers. Some weird tubing. Big looted big shooter from the Eldari. That's its custom force field at the back. Looted missile launcher from the Tau. Looted missile launcher from the Eldari. 10 out of 10. Wow! Yeah. However, this is its body. This is its legs. If I turn that light off, you'll have a bet. No, actually, it's still really, really bright, isn't it? Oh, there you go. You can see it's corrugated. Well, it's not quite corrugated. I don't know what the word is for that type of thing. Yeah, if you're wondering what all this yellow weird stuff is, I built this when I was a little kid. Actually, I think it might have been a new model back then. This Hellhound. And it was back when I didn't have reliable access to things like, you know, plastic glue. Because, you know, I couldn't buy it online. I was a little kid. In fact, I don't think I could buy it myself. I had to, like, ask my parents, could they get me some glue? And they would be like, okay, we'll just get you some cheap super glue. So, yeah, this was made of super glue, which was really useful, like why this came off. Because it was badly glued on with super glue. And this entire thing at the back, where there's meant to be a whole load of barrels, also came off because, again, super glue. But because it was, you know, cheap super glue, everywhere where it's, you know, the super glue got left behind, it's turned yellow. Which is fine. It's also a bit rough. Which is fine, it's for arts. All of the extra roughness and stuff is arty. It makes it just feel more arty. It's also why I could just take off the heavy flame if that was here. Yeah, this entire thing, you just need to put some slight force onto it till it just starts breaking pieces off. But yeah, it was badly put together, especially for barrels and stuff at the back, and the turret had broken. So I was like, you know what? I'm struggling to find a place for it in my current Imperial Guard armies. It was the Melter Hound. I do love the Melter Hounds, so I decided just to use it for the legs of my Markanaut, because I didn't know what else I was going to do for the legs, outside of just scratch building some that would likely fall to pieces. Oh yeah, I cut this area out. When I say I cut it out, I put some little snips into it and then I just tore it off. So that it would be really jagged, and then I put some super glue on it to then make the jagged pieces less sharp so it won't destroy any brushes. But yeah, this is a really weird kit. Hi, Flash! Oh yeah, that's looted from a defiler. And again, I've been drilling lots of holes and dents into these things. I spent like a lot of, was it? Yeah, no, it was Saturday. It was Saturday just drilling holes into this model while listening to the Dante book. Yeah, it's got symbols on it, so it's nice. I like it, but it now needs to be glued to this base. Oh yeah, custom Mega Blast on the side. Bossin. I do think it's roughly the correct height. Although that being said, Markanauts are quite small, aren't they? I don't have a real life Markanaut, so it's very hard for me to discern how big it's meant to be. Well, I did go by measurements I found on Reddit. Hi, Tor! And they said it's about 5 inches to the top of the model, ignoring the custom force field. And this is about 5.5 inches tall without the base. But it's 8 inches tall with the custom force field, and my model is only about 7 inches tall from the top of the wrench. So I'm gonna do... Oh, but actually, now it's on a base, and this is a proper Citadel base. I bought at the same time a kill rig. Like, how big is this? Yeah, it's about 7 inches to the top of the wrench. And it's about 5.5 inches to the top of this. So what I want to do, I want to put some rocks underneath it so it looks like it's, you know, bouncing along. At top speed. Oh. Markanauts suck though. Like, have you seen the Gorkanaut? Oh yeah, the reason it's open at the back and this comes down is because Markanauts can transport 11 troops. And Gorkanauts can also transport 11 troops. Gorkanauts though, they get 20 shots with rapid fire 10 on their main weapon. It's like strength 6 without any AP, but still. This gets D6 plus 3 blast. But it's strength 10 AP minus 2, damage 3. So in theory, this is actually arguably better. The Markanaut costs a little bit more. It also has a custom Mega Blaster instead of a Scorcher. Otherwise, the weapons are the same. 2 big shooters, 2 rocket launchers. Same armor, same wounds, same toughness. Markanaut is much better in melee. It gets 1 extra attack. Well, for damage, strength, and so on is the same. But on its anti-tank, you know, its strike profile, it gets 1 extra attack for Garkanaut. So this only gets 4, Garkanaut gets 5. And I think with a sweep profile, this only gets 12 attacks, but for Garkanaut gets 15. For one thing this does have on its side is it has a 5+ invulnerable save. And it's not like the 9th invulnerable save where it's only against ranged attacks. It's against everything. Not that it matters too much because in melee most things don't go past AP -2. That being said, if you throw like a Redemptor at it, it does have AP -3. Oh my gosh!
Cupcake! Yay!
Yeah, ow.
Take every chaos god and make them family friendly.
Surprisingly, Khorne is mostly family friendly outside of the gore. So all you have to do is just remove some of the gore. Not even all of it. Like a bit of blood, a bit of skulls, both fine. It's just, you know, all the tendons ripping and stuff. As long as you don't show too much gore, it's fine. Nurgle is also kind of family friendly. Assuming you don't, again, just show too much of a pestilence, like, you know, people pooping and stuff. By the way, my mother saw... Oh, what is that? Do you know the new Game of Thrones spin-off series, Night something or other? My mother was like, oh, this looks like it'll be fun. And I'm like... My father was like, oh, isn't that a spin-off of Game of Thrones? And I'm like, oh yeah, you probably won't like this. And she's like, oh, we'll give it a go. And there's like one scene at the start to it where she's like, okay, yeah, I'm not watching this anymore. Which for Nurgle, mind, as long as you don't have any scenes like that with Nurgle, you know, people emptying their bowels, it's fine. Sinch. No, Sinch is the most family friendly. Sinch doesn't do anything that's unfamily friendly. Like, remember, on family friendly TV, you can have as much violence and killing and death as you like. As long as no one's got a gun. And as long as there's no gore. So, Sinch is the most family friendly, okay, already. You don't even need to change anything. After that, I'd say Khorne and then Nurgle. Slaanesh, arguably, as long as you don't focus on, you know, the more sensual, shall we say, side of things. Again, not too unfamily friendly. All you have to do is show people who are like really into it this. And, you know, keep the demons covered up, clothed and stuff. Hi, Nanofate. There's literally no way to make Slaanesh family friendly. Actually, so, you know, do you know when you see these greedy, affluent nobles in, like, you know, well, not just nobles, but do you know, greedy, affluent, wealthy people, nobility, like, you might see a super wealthy priest who's just, like, living it up with gold and stuff, like, in different shows, different TV things, where it's just somebody who's just absolutely absorbed by greed. It might not just be greed. It might be like someone who's extremely prideful. Like, do you know, a really skilled fighter who's just super arrogant and super prideful, but it's very hard to, you know, try and do anything about it because they are actually skilled. It's just like they're more arrogant and prideful than they actually have of skill. Yes, you can just focus on the bright fabrics, mirrored armor, too loud, high-pitched noises, maybe alcohol. Well, you don't have to do that. It's like, do a harder. Someone who loves harding could be a Slaanesh worshipper. Harding is a massive part of Slaanesh. It could be harding of art. It could be a person who owns an art gallery. You basically got two sides of Slaanesh. You've got the high functioning side, which is going to be people like nobility. people who are greedy people, like it might be a business CEO, it might be someone who owns a museum, an art gallery, any of those things it could be. It could be a tortured artist who's always trying to make better and better, more perfect art than ever before, to a point that their hands start to blister and that they go in days without sleeping trying to make something better. It could be someone who's really obsessed with a hobby, you know, stamp collecting, train collecting, Warhammer collecting. You've got all sorts of things. Reminder that many Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh have luxury covered armored armor fused to their bodies. Yeah. But it's like Slaanesh cultists look like normal people. Especially if you're going by Warhammer Fantasy. The most prevalent cultists within the Empire were of Slaanesh. And you don't know that there's like the main thing about Slaanesh, especially in fantasy. But again in 40k, like you're going to find loads of planets that have Slaanesh cults on them, and they're not going to look. It's going to be like, you know, getting into a secret club, like, you know, a yacht club, or, you know, for Masons. Those are the types of things that would be, you know, Slaaneshi. But you might not think they're Slaanesh at first, but they are. You don't have to do anything like that. I mean, it could be, you know, people who deal in narcotics could be a Slaanesh worshipper. For people who are addicted to them could be a Slaanesh worshipper. A Slaanesh worshipper might be someone who sells really luxuriant chocolate. But it might be Willy Wonka. You could literally have Willy Wonka making the best. Actually, Willy Wonka is basically a film about Slaanesh. You have an extremely wealthy, noble person who is extremely secretive, keeps these diminutive people inside the factory, and also is so obsessed with making better and better sweets and chocolate that they have all sorts of weird and magical effects. That they make gardens out of sweets. They make rivers out of chocolate. That is a Slaanesh worshipper right there. Even if they don't necessarily realise they're worshipping Slaanesh. All of the kids that get addicted to their sweets and chocolate, Slaanesh worshippers right there. Or perspective ones. You might not realise you're worshipping Slaanesh. You might not realise you're playing with the hands of some cultists. Willy Wonka. It's just a film about Slaanesh. Yeah, all like Slaanesh is not one. That's one of the reasons why Slaanesh is so powerful. It might be the youngest god. And right now it's the weakest god, I believe, in 40k. But it's the youngest, yet it's capable of being on par with the likes of Nurgle and stuff. It's the most feared out of the gods. Like, Khorne, Siege, and Nurgle fear Slaanesh more than any other god because it's the one that can rise to power the easiest. It's the one who can steal other people's cultists the easiest. Because ultimately, Slaanesh is about excess. And anything can be excess. But, oh yeah, I made another data clade yesterday. It's got a melter gun, flamer. I edited the techno-archaeologist. If you can see, there's some like whitening on the arm, and that's because I just bent the arm out of shape so it would be slightly different. And I replaced the head with a Skitavi head. But yeah, otherwise, you know, they're just the guys you'd expect. This guy is really difficult to convert without doing anything major on him. But yeah, we've got these dudes. Khorne, I believe, is the most powerful god in 40k at the moment, though. Or at least, you know, the Chaos gods. Because with all the war and stuff. Nurgle, I think, had ascended a little bit, but you know, after what happened against the Ultramarines and the Tau, kind of significantly weakened his position. I love this model. It's so beautiful. I love how easy it is to pose as well. Oh wait, I need to get my Brutalis out. I need to compare its size. Yeah, I got a Brutalis right here. Let's compare its size to Brutalis. Hi, Dennis. Festive 5-star man, sorry. You have such a strong... Are you in your 30s? No, sorry, I am... I'm full of hay fever at the moment, so that's why I sound so deep. Although I already have a pretty deep voice. So yeah. I'm just really hay fevered up. Yeah, they're about a similar size. The Saturnines a bit bigger. And it just broke off the hand off my model. The trees have done things to her, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm also in quite a bit of pain because I've been outside today. And I'm very unwell. There we go, let's fix up that hand. So yeah. About similar size. It is a bit bigger, but this is possible as a Redemptor, I think. With its giant knight chainsword. I'll put these guys to one side. Out the way. Let's... Sorry. Okay. I'm going to... I've tried to control my voice better. I did voice training, so I should be able to. Why did I do voice training? Because I thought it would be fun. Ooh, that's a cool bit of something. Nah. Where is? I'm thinking if I put this like back here. That could work. Oh god. I did what did I do? Oh yeah, I want to improve my range of speaking. There we go. I would do something like this. Will it give it the extra height it needs? That's a big question. Oh yeah, I got a kill rig. I managed to get a hold of a kill rig. Oh. Which I bought because I didn't want to pay post and packaging on some basis. Okay, what's the extra height I get here? It's probably not a full inch. Oh, it does put it well over 7 inches there. Okay, that's actually pretty decent. There's a surprising amount of extra height to it. I guess it's because it's angled. Hello, Jackson. Merchant. This sucks. What sucks? Me sucks. I'm sorry. There we go. We can put this here. We'll take that off. We'll take that off so it's easier to see what I'm doing. And then we get our Tamiya extra cement. I put this down. And we can go here. And roughly get our marker knot. It flied. It flew out my hand. How did it fly that far? And then we go. Okay, that's going for wrong angle. I need that more to here. And then I can go here, like that. There we go. That's not giving it the effect I was going for, to be honest. So maybe now? Maybe. Yeah, we'll do that. We can glue here, glue along here, glue along here, put a whole load of glue there, whole load of glue there, whole load of glue around here. And go bang, bang, boom. But what do you think? What's your favourite traitor guard unit though? Like, what's your favourite unit to use a traitor guard? There we go. Okay, if I just put this to one side. We can actually get into the Ashway. I've actually not looked at the Waste Nomad sprue properly, so I'm not sure how good it is. There we go. But as far as I'm aware, we can have. I want to use this weapon as a grenade launcher. I'm going to use the sniper as a sniper. And then I think I'm going to have to take one of my spare plasma guns and just give them a spare plasma gun. Because we don't have any other spare... But they do have flame pistols. What the heck? They got flame pistols. Well, who knew? I didn't. Tissues. Traitor guard. Do you think we have to convert these much for Nurgle? There we go. Do you think... Oh gosh, wait a minute. How many bases do I have? Why do I have 12 bases? There's not 12 models in the unit. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No. I've got 12 bases. Sometimes when life gives you bases, you make basinade. We have to make them look suitably stinky. But that's
We have to make them look suitably stinker.
Look! Waste Nomads. They already look stinky. Look, they've already got the brass orbs and bottles and stuff on the side that you expect Nurgle to have. They've already got these ratty robes and stuff. Like, look how stinky they look already. Like, these boys, you look like you go up to them and be like, oh, oh, oh. You stink almost as bad as for Warhammer stock. But what do you mean they're not stinky? Bonus basis. Make a squadron or a Sprudian or 3. Yeah, Sprue Marines. Sprucron. Nah. For spare bases are fun. I like having spare bases. I think these are 25mm bases, which are the exact size that we want, I believe. Oh, but now I'm paranoid and I have to check. Ooh! No new Space Marine faction packs today. Wait. Faction pack, Marshall's Household, Living Miracle, Wrathful Procession, Rule Update. Above the Wit. They have precision when targeting Psycho units. Hi, Nanofate. If the enemy is a Psycho unit, it's within 12 inches of this unit. Okay. Basically the same thing, just updating for wording. Yeah, just a lot of updating wording here. Yeah. This unit can make a surge move of D6+2. In your shooting phase, each time an enemy of this unit has shot. Okay, yeah, that's normal then. Yeah, nothing too amazing. Add Land Raider keywords. Add the frame keywords to a bunch of things. Benediction of Fury, Adaptable Executioner, Cleave. Ooh, we can get Cleave from the enhancement. So it does look like we've now got less enhancements and less stratagems on each thing. Friendly Chaplains have 5+ invulnerable save. The Living Miracle is the new detachment. Where does it show for detachment points? That's what we need to know. Maybe it will be on the points costing side of things. Only sword weapon units have +1 OC. Okay. Can we find for old ones here as well? Yeah, here's the old Black Templar one. Yeah, only had Wrathful Procession there. So yeah, it definitely means that people will be having to do a lot of rewriting army lists. Let's look at the basic Space Marine one though. Pilgrim Task Force Library. Oh my gosh. So we're going to see more rules then. Let's go down to the new rules of the Eradicators. Okay, it does look like some of the detachments aren't changing that much. Like Thermite Sentinels are staying the exact same. Well, I say the exact same. Yeah, a lot of them aren't changing that much. You got the same enhancement. Our same number of enhancements, same number of stratagems. I'm guessing fair for more expensive ones. Okay, this is a lot of scrolling down to get to the Eradicators, my goodness. Orbital Assault Force. Yeah, still very similar to before. As the Nurgle Traitor Guard will be something similar to design from 40k Dark Tide design. I think it'll be quite different from the Dark Tide design because I'm making them using the Waste Normads. Okay, here we go. Oh, the new Eradicator squad. You can only take them in units of 3. Yeah, but you really can only take them in units of 3. That's weird. I'm not sure I like that. New land speeder can only be taken by itself. Again, not sure I like that. Ah. Can't be taken in units of 2. Okay, yeah, this is maybe the rules of the data sheets will change with the codex. Be more normal. Okay, is this dry? Oh, that's dry. Kind of. But yeah, this is what I was trying to go for. We're kind of. I wanted to be faster. It's like just speeding over rocks was the hope for it. Okay, get this out of the way. But yeah, so we got a bunch of Nurgly people here. If we actually go over, like most Necromundi, you basically just get a sprue of 5 models and then the exact same sprue again. Which is fine because you got lots of options here. And they're very customizable. So we're going to want to mostly just go for last guns. We want to go for 1 sniper, 1 grenade launcher. Hello, Crafter Knight. And then we can convert one of them to have a plasma gun. Blood for the blood guy. Yeah, blood for the blood guy. Oh, wait. We're not doing blood for the blood guy today. We're doing disease of a god of disease. We're doing Nurgles. I mean, we're 50 minutes into the stream and we've only just gotten to actually building something. You know? Doing our chaosy things today. Where's my knife? I need my knife. Sprue for the sprue god. Okay, I've got a cat outside that's meowing a lot. It's my cat. Is tomorrow Blood Boy? Yeah, tomorrow's Blood Boy. Tomorrow is Corn. Okay, so 3. I say tomorrow's Blood Boy. We've got the Combat Patrol magazines and we've got World Eater models in the box. But I'm not sure if it will actually... And we're going to be reading the magazines and the lore tomorrow. But I can never be sure what's actually going to be involved in it. Like, how much? Like, that looks all Nurgly. Like, this guy looks like he's a Nurgle worshipper. I'm in and out, seeing what my team wants for lunch. wish I could install a brick pizza oven at work and cook everyone's lunches. But I feel like the janitor would have a problem with it. Not if he was getting free pizza, you know? Or she. You know, just give them pizza as well. Also, that would be the best form of pizza party. Like, do you know when, like, companies offer pizza parties or whatever, you know, pizza for everybody, if they buy, like, the cheapest pizza they can find? Yeah. That would be amazing. It'd just be like, hey, you want pizza? It's like, I'll cook it in the brick oven at work. Like, oh my gosh. Yes. 25. 45, 48. Ooh. That looks like some sort of fox machine. So we'll go for this one, I think. On for back. Of course, I would be getting some pizza, no sarcasm, for most important person in this building. Yeah. The custodians are always important. You know, maybe I should be looking at the instructions of how these things go together, but, you know, that sounds like what someone who likes instructions would do. I don't actually need to put anything on for back. I don't think I will, except for the commander. Actually, does this one want to be for commander? I don't think it does. It was labelled for here. Where's this piece? I completely missed this piece. It was labeled, it was actually had the correct label and everything before. Okay, this piece is important because it's for the rocket launcher dude. I feel like the rocket launcher needs something on his back. Now, one of that on the commander's back. That big old banner. Where's my tissue gone? I need it. My nose is being mean. I need a feast of Mountain Dew, and it does not Mountain Dew. That was what was killing us yesterday. And when we were playing the what's the game we're playing? I don't know. Oh, what was it called? Mechanicus 2, obviously. We'll give them a big old chain glaive to the... Maybe this one can be the commander. Can this, the chain glaive, go on this body? can. Yeah, okay, we'll give this to we'll make this one for Commander. We'll give him a big old chain glaive. I never actually checked if we're on 25mm bases, did I? For the traitor guard. What normal guardsmen are. I'm going to assume traitor guard also are. Yeah, so this is going to be for Sergeant. What's a good box with lots of purity seals and relics? Black Templar upgrades brew. Other than that, the Black Templar brew does Crusaders do have some. I do find that the Terminator squad, especially the Assault Terminators, get lots of purity seals and stuff to use. And little relics on them. I find also the heavy intercessors have loads of little relics and things. But you're generally not going to get enough to have lots of spares if you build them with those things on. You're probably best looking it up. Okay, oh my gosh, look at that cool claw. Do you want to give him a cool claw? I want to give him a cool claw. I'm giving him a cool claw. I don't think Death Guard can take cultists. They can't. They can in Legends. They just can't normally. Thankfully, mine are Space Marine, Chaos Space Marine cultists with a mark of Nurgle. There we go. Chaos Space Marine cultist with Mark. Oh, so hi, Denison. Did I say hello? Were you here earlier? I can't remember. I'm sorry. Why does this not want to be glued at the back? Twist back. Maybe it got twisted around with the box. Definitely feels like this should be going, yeah, flatter against the body. Did I miss Cupcon nerding about the new? Yeah, I didn't look at them a lot. I looked at the Black Templar one and was like, okay, Wrathful Possessions changed a lot. We've already seen the other two, because they already announced that one. Most of the rule changes were pretty simple. The new Eradicators, I'm not sure if that is actually the final rules for them, because if it is, it's weird that it can only take them in squads of 3. The current Eradicators of Melters can be taken in squads of 6, and so can the Aggressors. Excited for Tau and Tyranids tomorrow. Oh, Tau and Tyranids are tomorrow. I didn't notice that. That sounds fun. It is hard to tell what's good changes and stuff because it's not come with new points costs. Here we go. Like, without the new points cost. See, we're not really kit bashing these much at all. Basically, all you got to do for plasma gun, and if we need to do another last gun. So this is got to be for Sergeant. If he won't stay up, stay stood up. My berserkers don't know what purity seals are. They just think they look cool and steal from other armor. Now, the issue with that, I mean, it's your chapter and your homebrew and stuff. But peyote seals generally are kind of holy. I don't think, like, chaos really likes being around them. But don't let that stop you. Because I certainly... Especially if your Khan Berserkers aren't actually that corrupted, the peyote seals probably wouldn't mean anything to them. So let's make this one for rocket launcher, I think. Yeah. There we go. So for rocket launcher backpack would be this one. That kind of looks like it anyway. Just make unpeyote seals, carry like chaos spells and strips of human skin. Or it could be like oaths, kill counts. It could be any number of things you want it to be. In my head, the words for seals change to dark god stuff. Could do. I mean, I imagine it would be the kind of thing that Khan Berserkers would steal just because it's like basically counting the kills. Like the blood and the skulls go to Khan, but the body you're keeping for peyote seal as a token of your, you know, the enemy should be beaten. Okay, needs 7 with this one. So this, it looks kind of like a rocket launcher. I imagine it's like a scrap-built rocket launcher. And as a result, it's not actually as good as a rocket launcher. Okay, where is 7? 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. Do you know where's 7? Guys, keep an eye out for number 7. That's it. Oh, here it is. There we go. Like, look at that. That looks like it belongs on a Nurgle troop. Yes, lots of them are just kill count. And the relics they take are converted to chaos relics. Oh. One of the best places I'd say is just find, if you can buy stuff on eBay, just go on eBay and search to see if you can find anything. Now it's actually wouldn't be too crazy that chaos steal, you know, Imperial relic. Oh, the issue with having this backpack, it looks like it's got like the missiles of this. But the issue with that is it kind of gets in the way of aiming. Maybe it's meant to be a loader of a missile launcher, but who cares? Yeah, I'm gonna have to give that to someone else. Okay, we'll just give this guy a normal last gun then. He's the loader for the missile launcher. So that one's gonna be the sniper last gun. That one's just gonna be a normal last gun. And this is a normal last gun. And that's a normal last gun. So yeah, we'll go with normal last gun. It's right there, you dum-dum. It was right there, it's true. I feel like we don't get enough 1 DP detachment. I don't know. It didn't show us what the points were for the detachments, did it? I didn't see them everywhere, but you know, I am kind of blind, so 30 and 29 is at least 30, isn't it? Yeah, piece 30 and 31. Okay. 31 is the matching arm. We also need to give them a head, which will probably be easier to add first. They're called blast rifles. But I have to hard them through. I'm walking away 2026 with 120 boys. Wait, how are you getting 120 boys? How many boys do I currently have? I've got 30 boys currently. I've ordered 10 more killy boys. Is killy boys the correct word? I'm not sure. Breaker boys. Oh, beast snagger boys. That's the correct word. I've ordered 10 beast snagger boys to go on the back of my kill rig. Oh yeah, by the way, where the heck do the orcs get transported on a kill rig? Like seriously, I was looking at this box. It's like, this is a kill rig. So that's a hunter rig, and you can see a bunch of boys could stand here. They could probably hang off the side and stuff and hang off other parts of it. I mean, they might be at risk of getting sawed up, but you can see 10 boys might be able to fit on this. But then they can also apparently fit on this lower one. Where do they go? The front area where they'd stand is covered by the big old cannon. And there's no cannon in the way, person in the way, driver, wereboy. Like, where do they all just like get inside the squig's mouth? Is that why it's got such a big belly? It just barfs them all out. It's like, get out my mouth. Like, where do they go? How does it transport them? From everyone buying Armageddon just for the space means? Oh, okay. You're going to have a lot of duplicate orcs if you don't do some kit bashing. They just hold on for dear life. I don't know where they'd hold on because it's also covered in chainsaws. Well, not chainsaw, disc saws. Like, they're gonna just get cut to pieces. Also, I didn't realise that if you don't build the kill rig as a kill rig, you can build it as a hunter rig, which is 5 points cheaper, I think. And you can use the wereboy that you have spare as an actual wereboy. Or weird boy. Which is pretty fun. I'm going to be using it as a kill rig because I saw Custodes versus Orcs once. On the official battle reports. And the kill rigs with their wereboys was just absolutely devastating Custodes. Like, it was hilarious. Just like every single, it felt so accurate as well. It's like So for the custodies, yeah, they're just ripping through these arcs as if they're nothing. But then it's just like one custody after another just explodes, some boys hitting them. And then they're like, okay, you know your Land Raider over there? Boy, go! And it's so accurate. It's like, yeah, you should have brought some Sisters of Silence with you. The orcs were like, custody, we're fighting custodies, bring out the psychers. They just hold on for dear life, hold on to each other. Maybe what actually happens of a hunter rig, killer rig, it's like you get an orc that just goes on like the backs, and you just have like these towers of orcs as they're all holding, like giving one another piggybacks. But yeah, you got a spare boy here. So yeah, on the kill rig though, the boy is a weapon, and I think it gets D3, strength 12, AP -3, damage 4 attacks or something like that. So as you can imagine, they are actually very good at getting rid of custodies. It's the only thing that is doing lots of damage to them as well, except the one beast snagger. Oh no, actually, on a couple of the charges, they did do some damage. Weird boy with an headbanger banana ghost split. You ever see those trains in India where 60% for occupancy is embracing monkey and hanging on the sides? Yeah, but the issue is the kill rig has giant chainsaws on the side. It's gonna... If you're hanging off on the side, you'd soon only have hands holding onto it. Okay, piece 21 and 22. Yeah, doesn't this guy though look Nurgle already? I'll try seeing if I can find any Nurgle transfers. I don't know if I will have any Nurgle symbol transfers, but if I do, I can put them onto the model somewhere. I'll just paint them on actually onto here. Using contrast paints. So rather than like them putting it on themselves, it's like the disease and dirt and grime on them just takes the symbol of it. It's also, when I was drilling holes into this, I had to keep trying to stop myself from accidentally putting Nurgle symbols down. I'm like, you know what's a good number? 3 of them together. Let's put one here and one just above. It's like, no, that's a Nurgle symbol. Oh. Yeah, just trying to drill holes in the model to look like battle damage accidentally gives it Nurgle. Don't you have some Nurgle skulls? You can use them. Not sure if I do. Let me get the... I do have some Nurgle bits, but for all Plague Marine bits, so they're not going to be correctly sized for these guys. Oh gosh! Ow, pain, sorry. Very bad day for pain today. Okay, got Tyrannid skulls. I got actual skulls. I got some demony looking skulls. But they are skulls. I guess I could try giving them like a guardsman head. That's all messed up. That could work. Like, maybe this guy. I do have like Death Guardy parts, but gosh, I'm in pain. Sorry. Let's look at my spare parts in here. Suppose. So I do have like extra limbs and stuff like that. And I really like the look of this claw, and I really like the look of a chain glaive. But I guess I could try finding like a bolt pistol, because they can't have plasma pistols, but I do think they can have bolt pistols. Or corrupted pistols, whatever they're called. Where's my chaos bits? I've got a box of chaos bits here, or a bag of them. These are a bag of chaos bits, and I think it has Nurgle in. Again, for Space Marine bits. Like, I do have this cool looking sword. I guess I could. I guess maybe we could cut off this bit here from the chainsword, and we could cut off the sword from the hand here and put it on the blade. Yeah, those are Chaos Space Marine heads. So yeah, maybe we'll do that if you think that's cool. So yeah, today's not been a great day for me. Okay, will it be easier to cut off? Or will it be easier to snap off? Okay, I think cut. And then twist. Yeah, so then cut under here. So that's definitely Nurgle. You can see little Nurgle symbol. Very Nurgle-ish style blade. Let's cut off that bit of sprue on it. That's the thing I always forget when I'm cutting off bits, you know, spare bits off the sprues, I don't really care too much about trying, because it would take hours already to cut all the bits off and organize them. So I don't waste too much time trying to, you know, clean them up properly. But then I always forget about that, and I don't clean them up again when I'm putting them on a model. Or sometimes it's hard to clean them up because you can't actually tell where the sprue bits were, because you forget how it was connected. The sprue in the first place. Yeah, this backpack does not want to stay. It's a correct backpack with that body too. It's the one of the instructions tell me to use. There you go. So does that look okay? That's a bit of chaos right there. Do I have anything else Nurgle-ish? I have Chaos Flamethrower. I have... Most of my Chaos bits are just standard Chaos bits, or the Nurgle ones. That's too big for one of these guys. Like, it's bigger than him. Oh, I do have a Nurgle symbol I can glue on one of them. Okay, so we got that. Terminator head. I could try giving them shoulder pads, I guess. Nah. Yeah, Chaos Space Marine heads wouldn't work very well. Got a Nurgle axe. Just want to ask you a question, but again, we want to go for last guns and stuff. Maybe we can find a special weapon of Nurgle. I think I already used a spare plasma gun from the Plague Marines. So I don't think that will help. Okay, we got a Nurgle sword there. I think we only have 3 plasma guns on the spoons. That being said, we got 3 special weapons. So let's look. We got 6 las guns. 1 sergeant. 3. Yeah, there's enough las guns in here. That being said, we could hold around some other weapons anyway. Bits of on it. Bits of chains. What the heck is this? Bits of goop. More bits of goop. I don't know. I don't know how the bits of goop will go very well on the models. Okay, we got another Nurgle blade here. Okay, maybe we can give 2 of them just Nurgle blades. That could work. Hi Malamal, how you doing? We're building some cool stuff here. And we're now looking for spare Nurgle bits that I might have. That can fit onto some normal space marines. Not space marines, traitor guardsmen. Okay, this is a weird looking head. I guess we could try fitting that onto somebody as well. I mean, the head being a bit big and bloated looking on the model might not be bad. Okay, it's a standard chaos, not a Nurgle one. That's definitely not going to be a head that fits on them. Oh wait, Nurgle symbol again. I've got a Nurgle symbol on a bolt gun here, which I can steal. I guess we got these growth things so which I can cut off and like have growing from the models. There we go. That might be a bit big for the models. Okay, Terminator head. And I think we're out. I think we're out. I'm out to Nurgle bit. Actually, wait. I've got a Nurgle flamethrower here. Do you know one of the pestilent launchers? I guess instead of giving a plasma gun to them, I could give them a flamethrower. I'm not sure it's necessarily the best idea though. Like, I was thinking a plasma gun would be better. Because, well, I mean, actually, you got the new hazard rolls making plasma guns not as good. Yeah, we can try giving one of them this flamethrower. The hands might be a bit big on it, though. Actually, wait a minute. If I take the other one of these, cut off the front of it, put that on the end, and then, like, cut off that end, maybe, and have this part, like, sticking out the back. Ooh. Oh, that could work. Yeah, I like that. Like a shoulder-mounted Nurgle flamethrower. Do you think that could work? I still don't get how detection works. So, detection is pretty simple, although I do find some of the wording of how it changes detection range a bit weird. So what you have, if you're infantry, a swarm, and I can't remember what the other unit was. Basically, if you're an infantry or a swarm, and you're inside a terrain piece, so one of the areas, the new terrain areas they have, and no one is within 12 inches of you. No, 15 inches. It's 15 inches. No one can shoot you unless they're within 15 inches of you. Unless you shot the turn before. Or shot this turn. If you didn't shoot... Basically, if you didn't shoot in your shooting phase, your enemy can't shoot you. Unless they get within 15 inches of you. And as long as you're in the terrain area. So that means if you move into a terrain area, you become hidden. Vehicles don't get the benefit of it unless it's otherwise worded to say so. Ooh, that looks more disgusting, maybe. Yeah, I like that one more than that one. So that's how detection works. There's also rule code go to ground where you can get an reduce your detection range by 3 inches. Oh, in terrain. I thought you can just stand at the edge of a map and be ignored. No, you have to be in terrain. I think it's... I can't remember, but I think it specifically says if you're in a terrain area. In which case, if you're behind some terrain and it's not line of sight blocking terrain... Wait, do they still have line of sight blocking terrain? I can't remember if they did have that. I think dense terrain does have line of sight blocking on it. Oh, that's cool. You also get hidden across your army if you go second. Oh, do you? I know that was a rule in the Maelstrom's kit, but I can't remember that being a rule. It will take a bit to get used to. I know a bunch of units, you know, are immune to detection. Well, they're not immune. They can, like, target another unit and increase its detection range. I've only got some units, like the Black Templar and the Sisters of Battle, who increase their own detection range. And what that means is they are detected sooner. Because, you know, they're shouting prayers and being all jubilant and loud. Okay, yeah, need these 2 pieces. Screaming at the enemy. It'll be funny if Ark gets an updated army rule saying that detection range is just increased by 20 because all the Orcs are just screaming all the time. No wonder you were afraid that 11th edition was going to be so anti-shooting it's impossible. Okay, 22, 21. I need 23. 23, 23, 23, 23. 23, 23, 23, 23. I think it's 23 I need. There's 24, which looks a bit weird. 21, 22 here. I'm missing a foot. 34. I might not. 21, 22, 20. No, it is 24. Okay. Never mind. I'm insane. Oh, because he's got a bionic foot. Oh my gosh, it's cool. Got a bionic foot. I assume it fell off due to Nurgle worship. He got like the super diabetes and his foot fell off. But because he worships Nurgle, he doesn't care. Actually, before I start gluing things on, I'm gonna have to cut this down a little. Let's get the skeleton head on. As best we can. Now I need to put down the back of this skull a little so it can fit. There we go. There we go. Is there background music on? Because I cannot hear it right now. Question, is my volume control working correctly? Oh no, my volume control is working. My background. Oh no, yeah, my background. Sorry, my background playlist just wasn't playing for me. It was still playing for you guys. Thinking it was just weirdly quiet. I can hear BGM. Yeah, I couldn't hear it because I was being silly. There we go. Awesome. There we go. Oh, sorry. And now we need to get a backpack on him, but a minor backpack, please. One that's kind of unimportant. Ooh, there's a bunch of meat on this one. Whoa. It looks like this backpack has to go on this model. Honestly, these guys would make a great Cadian recon squad, I think. Because they have a missile launcher already. And snipers. Almost like it was designed for them. There we go. Is that all it needs? Yeah, that's all it needs. We'll put that to one side as it's drying before we get any other symbols on them. And then we want to get the sniper done. So 8, 9, 11, 12, and 10. Yeah. Is this the last one? No, there's one more after this one. Oh no, there's something that needs to go on its back as well. I want a small thing to go on its back though. Exactly what do I want to go on its back? Oh, this thing, that could be good. Usually she hears background music, but all she was hearing was the screams of the damned. It's true. It's true. Oh no, that goes on someone else's back. That's a fox caster. Oh, it looks like, yeah, they don't have extra things that go on the back. Okay then. Can just have a missile launcher. Well, actually, I think this guy I'll make fox caster. So that looks like a fox. I know the fox caster actually doesn't do anything for the traitor guardsman, but still, I like the idea of it. And then, ooh, what if we give him a sword? Just for fun of it. Okay, this guy wants 10 and 11 on him though. Oh wait, I think that's actually meant to hang below. Like... Or maybe not. Oh, that is correct. Oh, that is correct. Nice. I do feel like some of the Necromunda models are specifically designed so that people could use them easily in Guardsmen. Like, they must have known that people would see Necromunda models and go, yep, that's my new Guardsman. No, I think it actually is meant to go this way round. But we're just going to turn it upside down. Because screw the rules. I do things my own way. Oh, my nose! Okay, we can take one of these swords. Like that. And replace... I'll take just the blade off, actually. It's going to be a very big sword, like, difference in size. But it should work. Nonetheless. And there's not going to be an issue of it being mistaken for the sergeant, because both the backpack and also the sergeant's got this big old stick and a cool claw. Hello, Foxy. How are you doing? There we go. Oh yeah. Like that. Okay, let's stick them to the base. Stick them up. Stick them down. Stick them all around. Okay, let's see if I can find a last gun then. Phosphor blaster, plasma pistol, last pistol. Wrong hand for the last pistol. Melter gun? Yeah, melter gun. Chainsword. Chainsword's in the correct hand. Last gun in the correct hand. There we go. And take Acadian last gun, I think. Also being held at the side. Oh no, it's really weird. That's in the way. I could have it being held in front of them, I guess. Zombie stance mode. Yeah, it's not gonna work. A last pistol will be the best of a weapon though. On auto pistol. I do have a spare last gun, or Lucius last gun. Chainsword, power weapon, chainsword. Bolt pistol in the wrong hand, auto gun in 2 hands, flamethrower, chain glaive, last gun 2 hands. Because the other the pistol arm is actually armed with like a flamethrower pistol. Which I'd rather not use if I don't have to. Plasma gun, plasma gun. And that's a bolt pistol in the correct hand. If there's a bolt pistol in the correct hand, that suggests maybe a last pistol will be in the correct hand. There's a wrench. Last pistol in the oh no, not last pistol, auto pistol. Yeah, that's cool. We'll go with that. And maybe put a last gun on the back. Yeah. Does it look a bit like a sergeant now, I guess? But we can put... Ooh, exactly where that is. The last one. How's everyone? Hi, Blair Boris. We're doing okay. Where's my other last gun, though?
How's everyone doing?
We're doing okay. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Now can I find the last? Here we go. The spare last gun. That seems good. Now I know that they don't actually have auto pistols in game, but you know, or last pistols. Only the sergeant does. But other people don't need to know that. It's fine. Okay, so this goes at the back anyway. Right. Like how? I think it's like that. That'd be great for the flamethrower. So that goes on like that. What about the thing that goes on the front? 11. Wait, 11? Oh, there it is. There we go. I guess it goes around here. Look at that tattered and rusty metal on the front of the model. These guys are just so immediately good for Nurgle without any real kit bashing. But we are doing some kit bashing. Not a great deal, because as I said, if it doesn't really need it. It's perfect. Okay, let's give them a normal head from the kit. I'll do that JoJo meme where it goes, very nice, she's a 10. I recently found out exactly where it's from, and it doesn't say she's a 10, it says Caesar, like Julius Caesar, Chan, sorry. Very nice, Caesar Chan. There you go, last gun on the back. Oh, the last gun's sticking out a lot. Maybe I should. There we go. That's more even. Yeah. Okay, it really does not want to be stuck. This backpack does not want to be stuck on its back. sticking there. Okay, so we've got 4 of them built. Weird mutant head. Maybe that's what we should do. Actually, no, we won't do that for snipe because the snipe was going to be difficult enough. I want to use that one for the sniper, which is 35. We need the rest of the arm. We got 33. $34. There we go. 38 is not what I want. I want 36. Okay, very good. So these are the arms we're going to use. My gosh, I love Necromunda kits. They're not the easiest kits in the world to build, but they're the most kit bashable kits out there because they're designed to be kit bash. They're designed to have multiple different parts working together. They've got upgrade sprues that are amazing for them. Games Workshop really said to the people who design the Necromunda sets, it's like, do you know how we used to design 40k models? Yeah. Do that, just more. Oh, God. Okay, let's go with this head. Clip off a little top knot on it because I don't really care about that top knot. Even if it does have a bone attached to it. Does every set correct or make monopose push fit slot? Now there is some issues, like some of the sets really do not want to be kit bashed with other sets. Like this set's not amazing for trying to mix with other pieces. It's not too bad, it's better than I expected it to be. Escher is really bad for like kit bashing of guardsmen because they've got super thin arms and super thin pieces and weird head joints. But each piece is designed so that it has like 20 different ways of being attached. So that way, when you want to have a gang that's relatively large, each model can be more unique and its own character. I don't think push fit's bad, like especially when it comes to starter sets. Push fit. In fact, I think push fit's really good for starter sets. It's just, and there are some push fit kits that are fine. Like I think Termagants are fine push fit. I mean, it's not fine when you don't include the upgrade frame for them in a box set. Necrons are fine as push fit. They have 2 heads for every model. And the heads can be interswapped between for different models. You have 2 weapons for each model. It's perfectly fine. And they're both ones where having lots and lots of exact duplicates, you don't really care about it. The Necrons, the Tyranids, it's part of the charm that they're all duplicates of one another. There is a time and a place to push fit hard specifically in starter sets. Yeah, but then you get arts. And arts are hard, but you don't want to push fit them. You want every single model to feel unique. You want them to kit bash really, really well. And the same goes for guardsmen. You don't want that because Guardsmen are, each guardsman is a human, and each human is an individual. And you don't want them all feeling like clones of one another. Even in things like the Mardian, you want to repose them. You want to get some cool heroic poses. You want to get some cowardly poses going on. You want to, I mean, just by reposing them even slightly, just like of the arms down, of a up, it can change the dynamics of a model each time, and changing like what direction a face is facing, which way they're looking, can also change it. And this allows you to take a lot of models, building them all slightly different from one another, so they don't look identical. I've already get Caden upgrade frame, which helps again, making them less identical. But then you got the arcs, with the old Arc Boys kit, the older one, it's really amazing because every single piece is modular and it works with other kits. Other art kits, or used to. I think we got rid of all those art kits now. It allows you to make each of your arts as an individual. And the arcs, they are individuals. They're not all identical to one another. Arcs like expressing the individuality. Nothing a little work with a razor saw and green stuff won't fix. True, but when you have to do that for like 120 models, it gets extremely tiring and extremely long to do. On top of that, when you're doing green stuffing, you face a significant issue. And that is, when you're doing hards, you pick up your models in big blobs. You want to be able to pick up all of your models and just plonk them back down off the table without risking that they're all going to break. This is one of the reasons why Vampire Count skeletons absolutely sucked compared to Tomb Kings, because the pieces were so thin and flimsy. Which is great for push fit models. You pick up your Necrons, you don't have to worry too much that they're all going to break. You pick up your Termagants, again, you're not going to be worried that they're all breaking when you're picking them up and putting them down again. Or just pushing them across the table in a big blob. But if you're green stuffing your arcs together, green stuff and super glue isn't known for being the best at holding models together. Like, it's fine for commandos, it's fine for tank busters and wrecker crew. That's why I pin all the modified joints. And again, you're just adding extra time to create models. And it's like, yes, you can do these things. But arcs are they're a very good start to faction because, I mean, they're not actually the best start to faction. They have complicated paint schemes. They are very busy models. It's very difficult to start on them. But they're a very popular starting faction, which is fine. They should be a starter faction. But so you're going to have people who want to kit bash. They want to modularize the arcs up. But they can't because they don't know. Green stuffing and pinning of models isn't really something you should be expecting or telling them to do. And it's like, when you have the old Arc Boys kit, which is a super modular kit that you can, each piece, your arms, you can have it raised, you can have it lowered, you can have it mid-section, you can have it going behind them. You can have different heads. You got so many different pieces, so many options, and then it's designed specifically to be modular with other sets, allowing you to modify your arcs even more. It's just really nice. You get all that modularity. They're still very easy to make because it's just flat surface goes together on a flat surface. Ball joint head goes on, no, hole in the head goes on the ball joint. It's very easy for someone to get into to build the arcs each uniquely and individually, which a faction promotes. I enjoyed the modelling aspects of the hobby a lot, I agree with it. Regardless of advanced technique, but we all started from scratch, right? Yeah. But it's one of those things of it's like, if you look at Guardsman, like this arm here, it's a bit of a weird joint on this arm, but you can put it just flat on a Guardsman, or you can have it going forward so if it looks like they're running. You can put it on one of the Guardsmen that are running, so it looks like they're running with the arm. Maybe you put it slightly so it's going backwards, so it's like dragging behind them. Or you could have it with a Guardsman who stood on a rock, with it down at the side with one of the fox. It's nice, you can fit it really easily. Or what you could do, you can cut off a hand here, and then you can put it onto a different arm that's got more of a turn in it. So then it looks like he's not putting more of a turn, more of a bend to the elbow. So then you can have it so it's resting on the shoulder. And then you're doing an advanced modelling technique. But that's the thing, it's like an advanced modelling technique. Basic modelling technique should be included in the set, especially for things like humans, orcs, stuff like that. Anything where you want a large number of them and they're an individualistic faction. Only after 3 years did I do my first scratch build, clueless. So that's a nice thing you can do with them. And obviously, it's like for orcs, they're currently in the starter set. So you're like, okay, I'm going to get my 20 orcs from the starter set. I'm also going to buy this, somebody else's half of the orc starter set. So for 20, I'm going to build as they're meant to be with, some of the modification that's built in. The other 20, I'll kit bash. I'll try messing up as much as I can. But it's like, I think when it comes to the basics of the orc kit, there should be some modulability in there and some basic kit bashing in there. Like maybe these two pieces aren't meant to go together, but you don't need any green stuff to figure out how to make them go together. Like, sure, they're not designed to, but they can do if you really want to. And that's whether that's where I think for the art kit that they just got rid of is bad, and where the beast snaggers is also kind of bad. Again, I don't mind doing advanced techniques, and everyone has to start somewhere, but for starting somewhere should be more of a choice rather than feeling like you're forced to do it to have your faction, feel like the faction's actually meant to be. Hello, Night Parade. Also, the issue with some of the push fit, especially some of the orc push fits, is that they are extremely anti-kit bashing, meaning that not only do you need advanced modelling techniques to mix them, but they're advanced with an advance. You have to cut off the arm, file it down, shave it, do some remodeling of the arm, or whatever. It's similar with the orc buggies. The orc buggies are notoriously difficult to kit bash. It's not just advanced modeling techniques. It's you're having to really cut pieces up in really difficult ways to try and make them look different, even at the most simplistic level. I might be over-exaggerating a little there, but I mean, I don't feel like I am. Actually. Now, I'll wait for these models to dry before I start trying to glue extra bits on them and figuring out what to do with them. But yeah. Oh no. I'm just hoping the new art kit is better than the last one. Okay, I want to do the flamethrower in it. It's still easier than dealing with old metal. It is easier than dealing with them. Especially, the main issue of trying to get... I'm taking a sock off because my feet are way too warm. Ow. Hello, Night Parade. Did I say hello, Night Parade? I don't know. My brain's all over the place today. It's really not working well. There we go. Socks. Socks are off. Nice. Oh, my tootsies. My tootsies are free. Okay, what do I want? I wanted 8 and 9, I think, for my flamethrower. For the 8 in, yeah, I'm gonna use the missile launcher, the charge blaster, charge caster, sorry. Cut up. But where's 9 and 8? That's 18, that's 19, that's 14, that's 8. Because this guy has a bunch of tankers on him. Bare feet in this economy. Look, I'm always in bare feet. I don't like wearing socks. I sometimes have my slippers on though. I only kind of put socks on when I have to go outside. Like, and by go outside, I don't mean outside into my garden, like when I have to go. Like, I went to a funeral earlier today. I put my socks and shoes on. And I think I was the tallest person there. I towered over everyone by like a country mile. There we go. Okay, so I need to get the... Where are they? I want piece 11. How are the ashy nomads? Okay. We've been kit bashing them slightly. Like, look, he's got a little Nurgle blade up there. This guy has... Not that guy. Is it this guy? Oh yeah, this guy has an auto pistol and another Nurgly blade. And last gun in his back. This guy has an Acadian skull head. Maybe I should get like Acadian head out as well for them. As if my limited exposure to old metal, they weren't that bad, but there's also a huge difference between 2 Marines, as say for old Abaddon. Yeah, the worst, Abaddon was kind of bad, but the worst for me was the Zoanthrope and the Lictor. And the Broodlord was also pretty bad for his arms falling off, but he wasn't the worst. Oh, ashy nomads with moisturizer. They're not ashy in that sense. I did have a horrible time putting the Avatar of Cain together yesterday, but that was more the fault of running out of super glue than it being metal. The issue with metal models usually isn't putting them together. It's not that bad. Especially
how your day going?
To it. My day's going. It's not been a great day, to be honest. Been to a funeral, hay fever. My health's not been too good. Oh yeah, the issue is when you're relatively new to the hobby and you're trying to, like, especially as a little kid. That's also one of the issues of, you know, when you're trying to make models. Like, if you're a little kid trying to kit bash your models, these advanced techniques can often feel extremely advanced. But yeah, the issue is, like, the Lictor was really bad because it's the main reason I hated the Lictor. It was one of my first ever models. It was like this big. And it had these really, really long arms going up. And big for spiky. And because it's metal and spiky, it catches everything. Also, it destroyed brushes. It was awful. Oh, some of the old metal models with the details being very sharp-edged, it would destroy a brush. Especially if you're trying to dry brush. But the issue is, it would catch, like, you're trying to reach over, catches your sleeve, catches your skin, rips open your wrist. But then you knock it over. It's very top-heavy as a result of it being quite tall as well. Not as bad as the Stone Folk. Stone Folk was even worse, but that's for a different reason I'll go into. But that means it catches onto literally everything. And it just snaps off all of the time at the joint. And then what the issue is once you break a metal model, super glue does not stick to dried super glue very well. What you're going to have to do is go onto that joint, scrape away all of the old super glue. And the issue is, and this is what made the Brute Lord wasn't too bad because it basically had a really big, really nice divot in it, so you could stick the metal piece in, and then it would stick there relatively well. Even when it was loose, it would still stay in. But the issue is with these divots, is that once you break off a piece, like with the Lictor arm, which broke off all of the time, you can't get the super glue out of there easily. Like, I mean, I know some people would use drills and stuff. It's like, oh, it's easy, use a drill. It's like, yeah, I'm a little kid, I don't have access to a drill. At least not that type of drill. It's like, so trying to get that glue out was really difficult. And you need to get it out because otherwise it won't stick very well. And even then, ignore the not sticking too well. The super glue leaves residue behind, obviously, and it clogs up the joint in the end. So if you just keep re-gluing it back in, eventually you're just not going to get it back into there. Now, if you're super lucky, you might just be able to pull the super glue out now with like a pair of tweezers, and it will just pull all of the super glue out, now allowing you to glue it back in. But often it wasn't the case. It would just come off in tiny bits and layers. Soenfope, one of the worst models though. It was like, if you think a Soenfope is top heavy at the moment and falls over easily, the old metal ones were extraordinarily, like, basically the entire model is in a head up here and then extremely thin body, and it fell over constantly, and that meant it wasn't too bad. Like, the pieces that glued together on it, they stuck there relatively well, but when it's constantly falling over onto the floor, like, even when you're trying to weigh down the base, it's not going to, that tiny thin base is not going to weigh more than this giant thick head at the top. And so it would, eventually those pieces will come loose and break off, and then you have to re-glue them. I used to have a scar on my left pointer from a slipped hobby knife. It was stuck in, oh, that's not good. Yeah, I've heard about people doing that type of stuff recently on Reddit too. Anything involving more tools than a hobby knife and a file as a kid can be a tad much. Yeah. I did know about pinning as a kid, and I did try it a couple of times, but it was very difficult. Why were you a little kid anyway? Like, well, that's why you're talking about children building minis. This is an 18+ hobby, screw for kids. I mean, some of the hobby literally is 15+. And some of it's 18+. I had one of those moments when someone just grabs the model without asking, and they weren't expecting it to be as heavy as it was, so my poor rogue trader marine slammed into the ground. I think the only thing that broke was the backpack. Yeah, that's an issue. But for Soenfope, the worst issue it had is, so there's a little bit coming out of the ground, like, you know, one of those weird tyrannid growths coming out of the ground, and the Soenfope was balanced on top of it, so it was like this, quite literally, curving out the ground there, tail curved here, and you had just this really, really thin bit. It wasn't like as thick like that. It was super thin, like as thin as this sword, were actually joined. And what would happen is that sometimes, like if you just had a sewn folk on display, especially with how metal models will sometimes be bent when they come to you. If you're really unlucky, it might have just snapped that piece already, but usually not. It might be bent when it comes to you. So it's not, the center of weight isn't going exactly down the middle. Or you might have glued it into the base because you have to like slot it in there. And it's just like, back then, if you ever used a base slot today, you realize how nice that joint is. There's barely any gap. Back then, it was awful. You had loads of gaps. So this meant that the sewn folk would like sometimes just be slightly off to the side, which means falls over easier. But what you'd find if you just watch it over a few days, like with a time lapse, you might find it's slowly bending around that joint here, just going bend, 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 as its own weight is enough to actually break that joint. On top of that, it's just like every time it's falling over and getting knocked over and you're trying to put it back up, you risk it snapping. And my sewn folk, I had one. I was a kid, it was expensive. It would break. And then once it broke, you couldn't get it together. I did get someone, I believe one of the kinder expert hobbyists at the shop did pin it for me. But the pin, it often fell out of the pin. I put some green stuff there. It was awful. Honestly, one of the reasons I diverted from Tyranids into orcs early on and Space Marines is because of just how awful it was playing with those metal models. My sewn folk was my favourite model too, and when it snapped, I was heartbroken. Sounds like Kundra has a lot of trauma about the Sonofolk. Sewn folk, yeah. So, oh yeah, if you want to see the sewn folk, as a kid, you're more inclined to spend your allowance on minis and buying tools, and I get that, yep. And often it's not easy to get those tools. Like Games Workshop didn't sell most of those tools. They did sell a lot more tools than they do today. And they had some. I loved the Games Workshop thing. But oh yeah, if you want to see the sewn folk, it's this guy. Sew and folk. So this is how big it was, and the tail wasn't on the ground. Instead, it had basically another little growth coming out of it. So yeah, it was. As you can imagine, the head was very big. Back with these models, though, if we look at them, the old metal model, the body was a lot smaller. Like the claws and talons here were tinier than this, and these bits at the back were a lot tinier too. So, as you can imagine, with the body being a lot thinner, the head being just as big, basically. Actually, I don't think it was quite as... No, maybe. No, it wasn't quite as wide as this head. And the brain case, the carapace wasn't quite as wide either. But yeah, the body was a lot thinner. That just made it, like, even more. The centre of gravity was even higher than it is here. And then because it had that little bit of a thing coming out of the base, it made it even taller. RC shops were a godsend for tools on me. Oh, I never had one of those. I did know an RC shop, but they didn't sell tools and stuff. I mean, as I got older, I got more into sculpting and doing some of these other things. That was definitely as I got older. Oh, now I might have just had a really bad experience with the sewn folks and lictors, but they were the worst ones for me. I did have other models like arms and bits falling off them, but it wasn't as bad as... the sewn folks. I did know someone who had the Avatar of Cain, and that one fell apart every so often. I imagine war machines are really horrible models. What learning about green stuff, and if you ever do build metal models and you are afraid of them constantly breaking, green stuff is a godsend for them. For two reasons. It's or at least for me, it's two reasons. Finecast dressing characters, supposedly more fine details and minis, but it was all a cash. No. I was so happy about Finecast. Like, you don't even get me started at how happy I was for Finecast. One, it kind of made some models cheaper. Some. But Finecast was a lot lighter, and it had flex to it. So often what would happen is, like, if you had a metal model and it gets hit, because it's just a solid piece, the shock goes through the entire miniature. The metal barely absorbs anything, and it goes into the joint. And super glue is really, really bad at dealing with shock damage. Like, do you know that sudden whack, which you get when you drop a miniature or you knock it over? That is much better with Finecast because it absorbs basically all of the vibration. The super glue doesn't break. I think that, despite everything they said about Finecast, really the main purpose of Finecast was to not have to deal with metal and heavy metal miniatures anymore that would break easily. And Finecast was better for that. Yes, there was a lot more cleanup than even the metal models had, but they were easier to paint. They didn't ruin brushes as much as the metal models did. They didn't break as easily. They were much, much lighter. They didn't get caught as much. Like, in the old foam trays, they didn't get caught as much in the foam. Again, not breaking as much. And they were less top heavy, meaning they didn't fall over as much to begin with. And then, because there was flex to them, the pieces would often just bend if they go back to a correct shape, or just sometimes bend and just stay bent. You could buy your minis by the pound. I never had that. Some of the Finecast was cheaper than buying it metal, but that was mostly when, like a lot of minis they sold in blister packs instead of boxes. But then they started selling them in boxes when they came out in Finecast. And those ones where they like, okay, so before you could buy like one miniature and it was like £7.50. Well, now you can buy 5 and it's 25 quid. Oh, it's 20 quid. And it's like, oh, it's so much cheaper. Yuck. Some of them did go more expensive in price, but I was just so happy. Like, I don't care that I'm losing detail. I don't care about the cleanup as long as I can just put my models together without them breaking. That's all I ask for a Games Workshop. That's all I need. I don't think I even had to deal with metal models that much, to be honest. Actually, I did, because my favourite armies were the ones that were still metal for ages. Like, yeah, Finecast is kind of terrible, especially today. But oh, this is good. I like this one. My War Machine minis were pinned and glued with 2-component epoxy or white hustle, to be honest. Oh yeah, oh yeah, green stuff. If you ever need green stuff and putting metal models together, especially like this is useful for Old World, especially like if you buy any of the War Machines. Put green stuff in for joints, just a tiny little bit, and then super glue it together on both sides. One of the reasons this is really good is that if the green stuff kind of absorbs a lot of the shock of the miniatures when, you know, when they get hit or knocked around, meaning that the super glue doesn't break as easily. Two is that often for metal miniatures, you'll find that they might have like a hole or whatever, and then a joint that goes into the hole. And you find it's actually a very loose hold. It needs to be so the super glue can go in there. But if you find that if you can put glue in both sides, put some green stuff in, and then just squeeze it in and then remove the excess green stuff. Or just squeeze the two pieces together with the green stuff, remove the excess green stuff and put super glue on. It holds that piece much tighter, meaning it's less likely to break. And then when it does break, the glue stays stuck to the green stuff more than it does to the metal. And as a result, all you need to do is peel away the green stuff. And it should remove most of the super glue. And then all you need to do is just glue it again. It requires a much less cleanup to then stick it back together than if you didn't. But I generally find if the same goes if you're building resin miniatures often, I find green stuff just in like Forge Road resin. Green stuffing them together is so much nicer than just using super glue. Score the surface to be oh, I've never done that. Nobody liked Finecast at the time, hence they stopped using it. They did use it for quite a while. You can still buy Finecast models. That being said, when they did bring back Old World models that were in Finecast, they didn't stick with them being in Finecast. Partly because they are generally selling it to an older community that appreciated the metal models. But honestly, if I had to choose between Finecast and metal, I would generally choose Finecast. Especially for any... Like, I recently had to deal with Finecast again because I bought some of the... Like, when I've been getting my Tyrannic War Veterans and my other old Firstborn models. Oh, what do they call them? The Elite Ultramarines? Oh, I can't remember. Something veterans, I guess. Everyone was fine, custom until they get for bubbles. Yeah, I had so much cleanup to do on those models. But honestly, I preferred it over not having... Like, I spent hours having to clean them up. But I'd rather spend hours having to clean up a model. And honestly, I don't think it was too bad for the details. Like, I've looked at other metal models. Or similar metal models. In fact, actually, yeah. I can show you. I've got one of the Tyrannic War Veterans in metal. Like, here we go. Here's Finecast Tyrannic War Veteran. That is not bad. Let's turn off that light. And let's try getting it to focus. This is not bad. Like, for details, well, that's pretty good. You can still see the evidence of where I had to clean it up. I just realised that is a bit of I need to clean up here. See, there we go. You're never done with the cleanup. Here is the same model. Now, this is a model whoever got this from, had tried removing some of the Ultramarine symbols. So we ignore them, but we'll look at like its face and stuff. Now, if the camera can actually focus on it, it's very difficult with it being metal. But it's basically the amount of detail on the two models together. It's not bad. Oh wait, is that another piece that needs cleaning up? It is. I thought that was like a guard for the fingers. No, it's a piece that needs cleaning up just here. That's why every decent hobbyist has some milliput, water it down to make a liquid gap filler. Oh, yeah, make liquid green stuff kind of sucks. The main thing I found liquid green stuff to be good at is when I had to make a model, when I've used foam, if you use foam for anything, a lot of foam, you can't just spray stuff onto it like, you know, your primer. It could actually cause a fire. But if you just get like a whole load of liquid green stuff over the top of it, it's amazing. That's the main thing I found liquid green stuff to be useful on. I've tried using it as a gap filler and it's next to useless. You basically have to have barely any gap to begin with. It's like more perfectionist gap filler. Compared to like, you got a gap in your Land Raider. Well, that's a pretty big gap. Liquid green stuff is not going to help you at all there. I got 2 boxes of Marauders, the price of 1 since it was damaged. Oh yeah, I can... Games Workshop's great to affect. Actually, it's not just Games Workshop, a lot of different places. But yeah. Also, Metal Mod... These Finecast miniatures are much better for... Like, this guy's on a slot base. Oh, this is like how bad the slot bases were. Like, you just got so much bend and give here for old slot bases. But yeah, Finecast, I can just cut off the slot part and just stick it onto a 32mm base. It's the correct size for it currently. And it sticks there. It stays very nicely. Metal, though, it would not. It will break off very easily every time it caught on something. It looks like an older version of a Captain Centaur's model we released last year. Jobs also hated selling Finecast because customers were poking the clear plastic packaging to make sure they're getting for proper prime printed minis. I never heard of that. And maybe that's why they started selling them in cardboard boxes. Because I mean, if you don't get a proper printed miniature, just complain to Games Workshop and I'll send you another one. But even then, yeah, for a massive amount to clean up on these guys, but I don't care. I love them. They're pretty cheap as well because they're a Finecast. Like the metal one was, this damaged metal one was more expensive than getting 5 of these guys that are undamaged. Still in for packaging they were. But people just don't want to do the cleanup. And I like it. But yeah, this is just an old Tyrannic War veteran. I've actually got 4 of them. And I've also got an old Metal Stone Guard model. So I'm using them as Stone Guard because it's not a really good Tyrannic War veteran set. So there's that dude. Here is cool little bionic leg. Look at this dude. He's so cool. Again, I found another piece that needed to be cut off from him. There we go. You definitely need to use a hobby knife. Remember, always cut into the miniature when using a hobby knife. So that if you do slip, it will hit into the miniature, not into your skin. And if you can't do that, then try to brace it against something, like wear gloves. But yeah, there's another one. These are the Tyrannic War veterans. They got Tyrannid bits on them. They've got damaged up armor. They've got bionics. They got little relics. They're cool. And for all Ultramarines, they got the Ultramarine symbol on for old, really fat you. As opposed to the new thin one. Except they only came in like these boxes of 4. So I got a 5th one, which is Sternguard Veteran. Metal model. Doesn't have any Ultramarine symbols on him. But as you can see, he's got a cool bolter, big old power fist. That's just to be the sergeant of the squad in my firstborn Ultramarine army. Not even GW liked Finecast. Yeah, they didn't. Finecast was basically seen as a necessity. They couldn't spend lots of monies to get rid of it. Well, it was basically, there's 3 reasons of Finecast. 1, metal models. They had a bunch of metal modes that they wanted to still use. But they were starting to reach end of life. Or they were getting to a point where it's like, okay, we don't have a lot of money to spend on doing stuff. And remodeling every single one of these, it would take us years to. By that time, these modes might not work anymore. So we need to find a way to still use the modes without degrading them as much as we are currently doing. 2,
Cheers Cupcake explaining over my comment, which was explaining it already.
Yeah.
So mana.
I go get a party. Finecast was made to make minis cheaper, and it costed a lot of people their job. Other suits refused to let the idea go after investing. It's not. I think there's a lot of reasons why they needed it. The second reason is that people hated metal models. Like, they didn't know that people would hate Finecast even more. And I can't remember what the third reason was. Probably to make them cheaper as well. So they're like, okay, we got the metal modes. Finecast seemed like a good idea. So they it's not just that they couldn't get rid of it's not that they refused to let it go. It's that, like, once they realized it was bad, there wasn't really an option to not do it anymore. Like, they could go back to metal, but that brings up a whole load of other issues. It's more expensive, it degrades the modes quicker, and people don't like the metal models to begin with either, especially newer people. So they kind of just stuck with it. The weird thing that they did have is that they did make more models. They made new models in Finecast that they should have just made in plastic. That was a stupid idea. Like Eisenhorn is one of them, and basically any of the models that are still Finecast. A lot of them were new models, like that came about after Finecast. Now, it could have been that they already were like partway through the design process and they're like, we can't go back now, because it does take years of them to go from, hey, idea for model to finally getting it to a major release. The team members seem to have known since they're battling Finecast all the way from concept. Yeah. Back then was already a push to go into plastic, sorry. And they've finally done that push into plastic, so like, rather than just, we need to just make new modes. But I think the reason, like, it's not just the suits at the top were like, this is something we need to do, because Finecast was starting to come around, especially into the later days. Games Workshop has had a few times where it's gone into financial, not quite, you know, we're going to go bankrupt, but, you know, not too far off. And making modes and changing modes and stuff is expensive. So basically, it was a cost-cutting method by Games Workshop to extend the life of, and it wasn't one that went out very well for them. Because ultimately their financial issues wouldn't last as long as it did. They would, with the rise of Age of Sigmar and the Primaris Marines, Games Workshop started making more profit again. With the rise of 10th edition, Games Workshop's profits absolutely soared. And it's like, they can now afford to turn everything into plastic, and by that point they're already starting to. But yeah, when it first came around, there wasn't really a guarantee that Games Workshop would be around long enough to, you know... It's a very weird thing when you go into it all. Never let mode go moldy. Yeah, never let the modes go moldy. The modes are gonna go moldy. No, the modes are degrading. You can actually still see it if you look at every single time they do a made for order now of doing like old metal models, you can see just how bad the modes have gone from before. And it's straight up an issue. They and making new modes is expensive, especially for plastic. Again, for metal, it's also expensive. I believe for plastic, it's a bit more expensive. And that's why the metal models were always, you know, models that they didn't like. It was special weapons, heavy weapons, characters. It was unique versions of different regiments. Anything that they didn't expect to sell a lot of, they put into metal. Because it was cheaper to make that mode, more expensive to make a metal model compared to make an individual plastic, but making the initial mode was significantly cheaper. And, you know, Finecast gets even cheaper because it's not much more expensive than printing plastic per model. It all gets very weird very quickly. Well, if there was an option to vacuum chamber treat for models. Oh, I've not heard that one. Yeah. Hey, Finecast absolutely sucked though. Like, they always should have gone just straight up to plastic. Even if they had to get rid of a bunch of the metal models to do it. I think one of the issues, especially with the suits, is that the suits effectively wanted Finecast to be a long-term solution to a short-term problem. Where really Finecast, if it was ever going to get used, should have only ever been a stopgap measure. Which is ultimately what it became in the end. But yeah. Although I am a kind of a Finecast apologist because I just hated metal models that much. Like... That being said, trying to clean up those Finecast models, it literally took me to get all those... How many were there? 8 Finecast models in the end, because it was 4 Tyrannic War Veterans, 4... No, 9, because I had a Master of something, Master of the Fleet. He's got a Storm Shield and a big old axe. As well as these Ultramarine Veteran dudes, Bodyguards. It took me way too long to have to clean up those models. It was like 2 or 3 days in the end, and you can see I still left bits on them by accident. Oh gosh, trying to get into this. You know what, I can just cut off this bit. That way I can cut off from this angle. There we go. Got it. Okay, so this can go back here. Maybe it can go up the top instead. Maybe that would work. Ah, it seems like it would work. Fine cast versus. I think if it had a massive audacity though to call it Finecast, I think that's the biggest mistake. Like calling it Finecast, saying that it's more detailed, it's like those were straight up lies. Like normal cast doesn't sound much better. They should have just called it something like, oh no, a different name. If that property name kept, that name was probably decided on because it was like really worked really well in like, oh, people who hear Finecast are more likely to want to buy it. It's like, obviously, I don't expect it to be a lie. Penny picture cast. Suitable cast. I should have just called it Resin. Although I think when it came to Resin, because it was a lot safer than normal Resin, I didn't just want to call it just Resin. Polymer Resin. I didn't even need to give it like a special name. They just say using a special polymer resin. Like, I think that was the main complaint I heard about it. Maybe they meant fine cast as if in, it's fine. Is it great? Nah, it's just fine. Yeah, they shouldn't even advertise it. Because I know people who were like, yeah, I prefer this over metal. But... yeah. Gosh, this guy does not like being glued. You got a license of that, mad lad. It's an app name in the end by the community, Failcast. Badcast, you got a license of that, mad lad. There we go. Now come on, just glue your arm together. Why doesn't it want to be glued together? I don't care if it has to aim down a little. Just don't just fall off immediately. There we go. Yeah, I like that. That seems cool. I go to the hobby long after Finecast was thrown in Forbidden. I mean, it's still around. They just don't call it Finecast anymore. They just say it's resin. But it's not got the 15+ tag on it. If you see something where it says resin, but it doesn't say 15+ tag, it's Finecast. No, it's still around. They still have Eisenhorn. It's Finecast. It's just, they literally just don't, the only thing is they just don't call it Finecast. What else is there? If they are getting rid of it one set at a time. Some of them, most of the models that stay around in Finecast were ones that became Finecast and are still popular today, so they're just not getting rid of them until they can replace them. No, they're not making new ones, but they are still making the old ones. Like, if we go over here to Warhammer 40k shop all, we filter by resin. Not 15+. Farsight Fireteam, Trasan the Infinite, Catan Deceiver, Sly Marble, Eisenhorn are all Finecast. Age of Sigmar, do they have any? Probably not, but maybe. Shop all, filter. And here you go, Frost Sabers, Man-Eaters, Icefall Yetis, Icebow, for Butcher, for Firebelly, and Slaughtermaster are all Finecast. No, these are all Finecast. It's these Ogre units are all Finecast. All of them are also Does she a mom? Probably, but it's still Finecast. In fact, I think some of them might have originally been Finecast, never had a metal version. Does Horus Heresy have any Finecast? Nope. There's a lot of resin, but like the resin models are all Forge Road resin, which is much better. Old World. Do Old World have any Finecast? I think they just went with metal. Yeah, they only went with metal rather than put them into Finecast. A lot of these some metal models where it's just a single piece, a solid metal, is fine. Look at these. If you want to see pieces that are really as old as my mother, here you go. Look at that bear. Look at these elves. Oh, look at those greyhounds. Oh, that's such a terrible set. Oh yeah, every time you go back, yeah. Yeah, that looks like it'll fall to pieces. That looks like it'll fall to pieces. I believe the Great Eagle is actually plastic in this kit. Or maybe it's not, actually. It might actually be a metal model. Is it metal and plastic? 11 metal components. Yeah, it's not got any plastic. They did eventually replace all of the eagles with just the same plastic eagle. don't think they do any metal models that aren't online only. That elf is a huge chest, yes. That rogue trader marine I have is quite literally older than I am. Yeah, a lot of them will be. And those Tomb King line skeleton modes are... I love the Tomb King plastic skeletons. They're amazing. One of the reasons that if they could bring back fantasy as metal is that the work modes aren't as worn out. Actually, I don't know if they made new mods. They probably didn't, but the modes won't be as worn out. Because one of the reasons when like they brought out Fighting Cast is that the Warhammer was also much more popular than when they started doing metal models. And because of the popularity, especially of things like 40k, they were going to wear them out relatively quickly. Especially like with things like characters and stuff. Fantasy though, even Old World is still not so popular that they're going to wear them out anytime soon. They're going to have a long time of these. Didn't you have a giant magma worm made of resin? Yeah, it's made out of Forge World resin. It's not my biggest lump of resin. My current biggest lump of resin is of Forge World resin, that is. This thing. This is absolute. I've still not built it. It's just sat there waiting to be built. The worm looks... No, the worm is way smaller. The worm... So the Thunderhawk, the front of a Thunderhawk would not fit on the camera. The Thunderhawk is... I can show you the worm. The Magma Dragon. Oops, I just whacked it. So here's a Magma Dragon. Still never quite finished the green stuff remolding here. Yeah, it fits easily here. You know, it's like the size of my hand. The Thunderhawk, the front of a Thunderhawk is about this big, just the front piece. Do you know where the space means sit down in it? Thundra has a ballista attached to her front window, but it can only shoot the magma worm at an enemy for 50 blunt. Yeah, I keep accidentally throwing this thing across my bedroom and stuff. It's I also have my Warhound Titan, but that's not actually official Forge Road model. So yes, they do have an official Warhound Titan model, just mine isn't the official one. I got it on eBay. And they said it was Forge Road. It was not Forge Road. Still cool. Accidentally, that is an anti-rat weapon. It's not! That was so expensive to get. I got it at Games Day. Because at Games Day, they used to sell models, Forge Road models. Because I couldn't really buy a lot of stuff online. Because I was a kid. So I would buy them at the Games Days. The only time I actually had a Forge Road model delivered to me is when I bought Elisif von Draken, Carmine Dragon at a Games Day. Except then it was broken. It wasn't quite right. And I took it to the Games Workshop. And they were like, oh yeah, that isn't correct. You know what? I'll send an email for you to the head to the customer support. And then they're like, oh, if I send another one, do you want to get it delivered to the shop? I'm like, yes, please. That's the shop I could go to on my way home from school. But trying to order stuff online was difficult. I don't think they allowed usually Ford Road orders to the shop. You could buy the normal stuff. Like, for plenty of stuff I ordered, like via the shop. Because they had a little computer in the shop that you could order stuff online and you could pay at the checkout. Because, I mean, I was a kid. I didn't have a credit card. I didn't have a debit card. I had my pocket money. Speaking of Games Day, we currently have some hilarious Pokemon drama going on with that. Ooh, what's happening with Pokemon? It was a forged world. I threw pics of Thunderheart from tanks given a few years ago in Warhammer chat for comparison. Is that an official Thunderheart? I'll bring it up. I'll put it onto the stream to show you. Oh. There we go. Now we click here. Bonk. Yeah, there you go. You see Thunderhawk over there. That's like a Terminators are big models. Yeah, these are huge. Way bigger than a Magma Dragon. I want to build that on stream. I've also got my Knight I need to build on streams too. It's just, there's so much cleanup to have to do on them. I've just not gotten around to doing it. Partly because Warhammer just keeps releasing one thing after the other for like, hey, do what will be fun? What will be super fun? Yeah, if we just release something else. It's like, oh my gosh, I now need to do this. After the Armageddon releases, things should hopefully calm down enough where I can start looking at my Ford Road models more. And we can build them. But I also need to get my Mastodon tanks painted. Oh no, they're massive blocks of resin. They're huge. I got 2 of them. 30 and 31. So let's look. We've got flamethrower. We've got grenade launcher. And we've got sniper rifle. We've got box operator. We've got sergeant. And we've got the loader for our missile launcher. Or grenade launcher. Okay, let's try getting this head onto this dude. That might be fun. Ow. Hi, Foxy. Okay, so the singer of the original Pokemon opening scammed some children at a Pokemon game event. He traded a card he signed for another card worth $150. He says it was not a scam because it has his autograph. Was worth $150 based on the price he charged people for his autograph. He traded a card he signed. Based on the price he charges people for his autograph, which is hilarious, like the brother set the price. Then he made a video showing how the kids were actually scanned before he could scam them because their card was all scratched and low quality and actually worth $50 instead. Oh my goodness, that sounds awful. You know, never meet your heroes, especially not Pokemon singers. Because Pokemon singers can't sing or something. I don't know. Someone can find some sagely wisdom somewhere in there. A dog-eat-dog world for Pokemon community. The Pokemon community is... A torturous place. I'll cut off this weird thing at the back here. Yeah. There we go. Don't have heroes. Don't get autographs signed. 150 quid for a signed autograph book though. Like, I recently bought a signed leather-bound book, officially straight from, you know, for my best friend. Oh, well, one of my close friends anyway. I just got distracted by putting this model together. Okay, that's all correct. Good. Yeah, signed leather-bound book with like gold leafing and stuff on the pages. It did not cost that much, and it's by Brandon Sanderson. It did not cost 150 quid, not even close. Yeah, I told you, it's on my friend who absolutely loves Brandon. I told you, one of the reasons I don't like Brandon Sanderson books is because my friends love Brandon Sanderson, and it's like I don't really like a lot of his writing and his books. I don't hate them. But then everyone in my life, my parents, my friends, everyone absolutely adores them. To the point it like takes up loads of conversations. It's everywhere. It's all over the houses. But I respect that my friends like Brandon Sanderson, so I thought I got them something I thought they would like. So here we go. Here's a Nurgle dude. Weird looking head. All bloated with pipes sticking out of it. No idea what that's from. Well, Brandon Sanderson didn't sing the first Pokemon opening, did he? No. He could have done. Best I could do is $20. He apparently had tiers like for $50 he would only write the last name, for $100 he would write his full name, but really smart. What? He sang the Pokemon theme tune. Voted world's worst Pokemon tune. I'm joking. Oh gosh, it's not like he sang for Digimon tune. It's not like he sang for a Yu-Gi-Oh tune. Imagine if he actually did. Okay. There we go. 15. Where's 15? Running like a dog. Running all around. Running. Oh no. There we go. Book drama. Actually struggling to find something else of importance he did. Hey, maybe that's all the importance he needs. Maybe that was his issue. Maybe he was like, people aren't talking about me enough. Maybe I need to scam some kid. Like, do you know these people who just make money by being problems. Or like those Twitter users where they just become a problem and then people interact with the tweet and then, you know, it just becomes cash money for them. Jason Page is his name, and he did the Pepto-Bismol jingle. Oh my gosh, best jingle of all time. And I don't know what Pepto-Bismol jingle is. I know what Pepto-Bismol is because people mention Pepto-Bismol, and I don't know what it is. I think it's some sort of like stomach acid thing, like Gaviscon. I have to scam some children. That is the natural state of being for so many of us, is true. If Talan was famous, he'd be in the news all the time for just how badly behaved he was. Mostly just scamming and stealing. And having really bad opinions about stuff.
Famous Rattlin found at the park throwing rocks at children.
Yeah. Exactly. In news of rat behaviour, exactly. You know Skaven. Skaven are actually just based on Talan in his natural state. But at least he's not so evil. He's done something like trying to fly a kite. That's the most evil thing anyone can ever do. I just love how cutthroat for Pokemon card collecting game is right now. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've seen some like, you might think Yu-Gi-Oh! Is bad, but Pokemon card collecting. Now that's some serious craziness there. Here we go. Yee, so big old Nurgle blade. Nice last gun. And we got 2 more, and I think I've got 2 more last guns to give them. The worst Warhammer collection has ever been was like GW kicking a puppy. In Pokemon world, it's a natural state of Pokemon kicking. Puppy kicking. So, I mean, literally, it's a game about making animals fight one another. What do you expect, man? At least Games Workshop's done some cool stuff recently, you know, trying to stop, oh, what's it called? Begins with S. Not scamming. Oh, do where people just buy up loads and loads of a product? I forgot the word. Spamming. Does it begin with an S? Ah, I forgot the word. Scalping, that's the one. Yeah, scalping. At least they've done some stuff to try and stop scalping. Putting books onto print on demand that were popular and got sold out ridiculously quickly. Releasing a product and then a couple of days later, just once all the stocks run out, revealing that there was a lot more stock. And then once that's all sold out, just revealing, you know, there's actually more stock. So that way, you know, the scalpers buy stuff out, and then suddenly it's just, oh, we can buy more of it. giving more people a chance to actually buy stuff without having to rely upon scalpers. And also meaning that the scalpers think that they have, like, you know, a semi-monopoly on the product, allowing them to charge ridiculous amounts for it. And nope, they don't. So that means they lose money on it, which is actually one of the reasons why it's suddenly been really easy to buy some cheap models recently on eBay, because the scalpers have gone, we can no longer sell these kits. And they're trying to sell some of the kits off and like bits and pieces just at ridiculously low prices to try and get some money back. Which means eBay is full of all sorts of weird deals you can get. Okay, what do I want to put on his back? What options do I still? I got this one, I guess. I'm not a big fan of that one. Got this one. I mean, I've not used that one yet, so. Oh no, that one doesn't go straight onto someone's back. Okay. How do you use this one then? Pokemon Scalper tries scalping Warhammer, found a week later an update. I mean, scalping Warhammer is still being a significant issue, and Games Workshop has been slow to respond to it. A lot of their responses have effectively just been trying to, do you know, bot verification. Like, hey, you're not a bot, are you? It's like, no. Okay, good, you can buy stuff. That's been their main thing. But I find scalping Warhammer super weird, but it must be make some money, because one of the things that they'll do is to go, like, Warhammer doesn't make many sets that are limited edition. In terms of, like, the model itself is limited. They do the commemorative series, which often when they do commemorative series, it's either made to order or you buy it in store. Like in a Warhammer shop. But it's annoying when they've done that, and really it's meant to be limited one per person, but sometimes Warhammer shop employees, you know, still sell the entire set to one person with a darn scalper. That's an issue. But often what the case is like, hey, there's a new Armageddon launch box. It's got all these cool kits in. In a month's time, you'll be able to get the kits individually. But if you want to get them now, you can buy this box. I've other scalpers buy up the limited edition box, but everything inside the box you can buy separately. That is the issue. However, scalpers are expecting to sell it for like twice the price of the combined items, and they must do well. Like, some people must still buy it. Either people buying models of their like kids or grandkids or something, looking on eBay going, oh, we can buy fish for them. The biggest scalp recently was the Dawn of War box being resold at around the same time as the actual box price. Yeah. That I think only sold in Germany and the USA. The thing about Warhammer scalping is there's no incentive to open a box to find a super rare card that makes the scalping upcharge worth it, because, you know, we know what's in the box. Yeah. I mean, they got the Warhammer Heroes boxes, which I guess you've got that. But I've not heard much about people scalping them. The most I've seen is someone trying to scalp a whole load of them and then realising the demand for the Warhammer Heroes is actually incredibly low. Like... oh, darn it, what was that piece I just grabbed? 21. That was 22. Like, Warhammer Heroes is definitely the closest thing we have to that. I don't know if they celebrated it in the UK. but for USA had a celebration for over 200 stars, and people were selling for stuff you got from FIFA. Oh yeah, but that's not quite like scalping. It depends. Like the main issue with scalping with these types of events, is they're meant to be one per person. Like even if you go on the community page for a lot of these things, it's one per person. Like that Centos model they did. But the main thing is you get these blooming shop owners who go, oh, this guy's going. I literally think they're probably paid off by the scalpers. They're like, hey, we've got 18 of them for our store. It's like, oh, well, I'm just going to buy all 18 of them. It's like, you're not allowed to. Well, if I give you 100 quid, would you let me buy all 18? Yes. If you do see, like, a Warhammer store owner doing that type of stuff, you could always, like, complain to the head office and see if they do anything. Customer support. The Dawn of War boxes, again, even trying to do that, the main thing that you got to struggle with, the main thing that was in the Dawn of War boxes, I believe, is the playmat that came with them. Otherwise, they're just selling models in red plastic that you can buy online in grey plastic. And again, I have seen the Dawn of War boxes, but again, it's only been on eBay. So I expect it to be higher anyway. For like 5 times the price of just buying the individual models online. And by individual models, you can literally just buy the box. It's just not labelled Dawn of War and doesn't come with the other thing. Wait, what body does this go with? 21 and 22. Oh no, what is this one? Audio. Yeah, just need to give this guy a blast rifle like normal. Which is why I suggest a Warhammer loot box system where you buy a black box and you get random models, but the stats is randomly generated. GW promptly sending an AC-130 to my location and create a new park. And honestly, Games Workshop could do something like that. I mean, Games Workshop already has a couple of online card games. You know, card game apps. They already do Warhammer Heroes. So Warhammer Heroes, the main thing about scalping them is that I think there's like 6 characters in them, and 5 of the characters are normal rarity, so you likely find them in a box. And one of them is a much rarer. It used to be that if you bought one of the booster boxes, you would always get the rare one inside the box. You basically get one of every single miniature inside the booster box. So, you know, when you see them in shops, you got all 5 boxes. You got a bunch of boxes inside a bigger box. Yeah, if you buy one of those bigger boxes, you were guaranteed to get one of every model. And then for extra boxes would have just random models in them. But then the latest Warhammer Heroes, there was no guarantee to get the rare guy in the big boxes. I think there was a guarantee that you might get one of each of the normal rarity ones. And that's...
Can you do this? Sneering face emoji, playful face emoji, zany face
I would ask you
emoji.
to do weird faces, please. But yeah, I've met a guy who runs the American branch of GiveSprinkles, and he's a scary guy. You'll definitely fold a manager into a pretzel. Yeah. I've not actually seen anyone do that. Where like my local Warhammer store, they don't do that sort of thing of, you know, selling the... Okay, it's 37 and 38. Okay, it's 38 that I want. No. No. 33? Yeah, 33. Not 34, 33. 33, 33, 33. There it is. Yeah, but I did see on Reddit people just complaining about that issue. And if you see it on Reddit, it must be true. Yeah. Even like the current Warhammer, actually no, the main thing that we have in Warhammer of Scalpers is the books. If they don't do the books, especially like the limited edition versions of the books, in either massive quantities or by doing a made to order, then you're often left with them getting scalped, especially any of the popular books. There's some cases where if we actually go to the Warhammer website, we'll be able to find them. Like Warhammer 40k, shop all, filter by available while stocks last. We might see some of the limited edition stuff here. No. I mean, well, this is limited edition, but you had the premium edition as well. Thankfully, the premium editions mostly didn't sell out too well, except for ones that were really popular designs. But scalpers might not have got them there. But if we go to Black Library, shop all, then filter by... Can we do available while stocks last? Here we go. Here we go. We got 2 limited edition versions, special edition versions of books, limited. These books came out ages ago. The Gaskell Thacker Warlord of Warlords one, though, the cover of that book is so much better than this book. Like, this book, it's okay, but no, that's the cover of the other book. Wait, is it signed? Unique. Oh, signed by the author. I never knew that. Is this one signed? Is the other one signed by the author? No, it doesn't look like it. No, not signed by the author. Yeah, Demolisher wasn't that popular. It's not heard it's pretty popular. But if we can find the Gaskell Thacker Warlords of Warlords book. No, it's a freebooters code. Steel Tread Hardback. Demolisher. So this is a Demolisher cover otherwise. Which, you know, it's got all the characters on. Arguably, it's a better cover, but the Warlord of Warlords one is absolutely amazing. The standard edition. I actually have the standard. Oh, Mortal Realms and paper. Where is it? Where is it? Steel Tread Special Edition sold out now. Warlord of Warlords. Here we go. And look how cool this hardback version is. Temporarily out of stock. The other version, the special edition, they still got stock of it. So it was definitely a popular book. It's just this cover's so much cooler than that other book. Oh, which I find surprising. Well, they have been doing that thing now of release a product that's a limited edition, available while stocks last, and then just reveal they've got more in stock afterwards. I don't know if it's the fact that they revealed they had more in stock or they printed off more of them, but with the, like, especially for Armageddon stuff, where it kind of came in, where it went out of stock, then came back into stock, like within a couple of days, and went out of stock and then came back into stock. I'm expecting that they just basically always had a large amount of it, a large amount that they made known. And drip-fed it done to try and screw over scalpers a little bit. But yeah, the entire big deal thing of, you know, trying to verify people aren't bots and stuff to stop scalpers, because a lot of scalpers will use bots. But it doesn't work very well. That's the issue. Like, lots of sites have found that those using bots to buy stuff like the scalpers doesn't stop them very well. Sometimes it's literally because the scalpers will just be a person going on the website and then just buying 100. Or they'll have like 100 accounts and they'll just be going through it themselves. And if they think they can make thousands of pounds on it, then obviously they're going to do that. Last dude now. Yeah, he had a backpack. What backpack do I want to give to this guy? Want to give him the blast rifle. There we go. I'll just whack my elbow. Where's 33? 33! It's there. And then I want one more backpack. We got that one. Someone do. Those are backpacks that go on top of backpacks. Same with that one. So we got this one. I think I'll just cut off the bottom of it like that. Yeah, that's good. And we'll stick him to the base. I'm surprised that these guys don't have the Necromunda special base, but maybe it's because they're not meant to be in cities, they're meant to be outside of the cities. So you shouldn't expect them to have the special base. Because they sell Necromunda bases that have a weird base on them. They got like a texture and design. Oh, Oh gosh, I do not feel well. There we go. Where's my my backpack fell a long way. That's the wrong side. Okay, then we can put some Nurgle details on them, I think. So let's get somebody who doesn't have any Nurgle. So let's put for guys who already have Nurgle details on. This guy's a cool sword. This guy has a plague launcher. This guy has a cool sword. This guy has a cool sword. Then you've got Skull Face over here. And Weird Head over here. So that's 5 more that don't have any Nurgle details. We can put this Nurgle symbol on the back of one of them. That's pretty simple. Oh, wait, bit of sprue on that. Any flowers is a good arc light to throw. There we go, because he would vote Mad Dog Skin. It was pretty fun, but okay, what's another book? Not another book. What's the other piece? We got this dude here, which we can give this Nurgle symbol that I just cut off this arm. Where do we want to put the symbol? We can put it... This backpack just came straight off. That's very nice. That's definitely what we wanted there. I'll put it in the backpack, just lop off like that. Okay, yeah, we can put it on the back here, I think. Something like that. Nah, it doesn't look like it's connected properly. I think that's a bit better. Yeah. Okay, then we got 2 more that don't have any Nurgle stuff going on. What do I have left to do Nurgle on them? Well, I got this shoulder pad with growths coming out of it. I guess I can take these spikes on the shoulder pad and take them to the model. There's a couple of big spikes. There's 1 big spike, a couple of small spikes. I'll give the small spikes to one model. I'll give the big spikes to the other model. So it's not from a shoulder pad, so let's put 1 on the shoulder. I'm not sure how mutated Traitor Guard should be, though. Like, cultists, yeah, they can be mutated, but Traitor Guard, they're generally a bit more... a bit different. We're not going to be like Marines and seriously blessed. We're not going to be as evolved as cultists are. Oh gosh, phone vibrating up there. That took me by surprise. Oh, there we go, spike here. Oh gosh, I don't feel very good. And then I think it's got a bit of a wide base. It's hard to find. Ooh, that's a good place. Just here. It's going to get in the way of your aiming, but who cares? Chief, help me out. There we go. Yeah, he's got a couple of spikes coming out of him. Oh, it's not lined up very well. There we go. Oh, yeah, a couple of spikes, a couple of grits. Now I'll just put more glue on to melt it together. Be careful with these models. And then last big old spike growing out of something. Okay, now where the heck can this grow out of? Pretty big spike. I know. Nothing growing out of your chest, maybe? Nah, it's well in the way. Same place as the other guy could do. Out of a backpack. Out of your butt. Oh, your arm's falling off. Does it fit on the shoulder? That is a pretty large shoulder. Nah. Okay, I think maybe the same place as the other guy. Just here. Yeah, spikes growing out. There we go. Everyone has a little bit of Nurgle corruption now. Sergeant, Weird Claw, power weapon, Nurgle power weapon. Flamethrower being a weird Nurgle projecting thing. And also flame pistol. I wanted to build the Cinch Demon Prince, but my goodness. Guy with just Nurgle icon on his back. Guy with a Nurgle's Plague Sword. Guy with another Nurgle Plague Sword. Fox. Thing. Auto Pistol. Lasgun. Pretty nice. Missile launcher with weird skull head. The dude we just made with the spikes on his side. Let's put more glue on him. Let's try to have them really set themselves in there. Yeah, spikes coming out of him. Dude with a weird bloated head that's got pipes coming out of it. Dude with a couple of spikes coming out of him. And then a dude with the Nurgle symbol on his thing. And for all Stinky. I think that's a good Traitor Guard squad. Yeah! And we went quite a bit over time. Those last couple of guys took forever. I spent too much time talking. Okay, thank you for coming to the stream today. We're going to just end it quick now. If you liked the stream, please give it a like, because it helps me out. And, you know, good stuff. Let's get these things moved out of the way. Oh gosh, I am not feeling well right now. I'm sorry. I need to throw away all. I got like this space full of bits of sprue and bits of plastic for models that I'm going to need to throw away. There we go. There we go. Don't want to keep this made thing. Nah. A couple of swords might be good. Yeah, the rest of it we can put in the bit spots. But that's it for today then. Thank you for coming, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Remember to work hard but play harder, eat good food, sleep well, dream of cupcakes but don't eat cupcakes as a friends and not food, and also take care of yourself and be kind to others, and vice versa. Big love hearts. Bye bye everyone. Do. Smash! And tomorrow we're reading World Eater Law. Don't forget to like the stream, please. Love you all.